Hey, Carl, guess what I did today?
What did you do today? Jack off?
I did the Every Evan FF podcast. I'm Curtis.
I'm Carl.
I'm Alex. And you know my initials?
MAL4M, right?
Yeah, actually. I'm not going to dox myself. Either way, my initials are Ant.
Nice.
Are you lying to me right now?
Curtis, your initials are Lion, right?
No, my initials are like the sound that a crow makes.
Boo, you guys suck.
Caw.
Nevermore.
Mine was
Indeed.
ruined. My initials were ruined in 2020, or in the run-up to 2020, because, Alex, I want you to bleep out these words that I say. President... Yeah, just make sure you bleep out some of those, maybe, if you feel like it, or not. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job.
King Baron.
But he decided
King
that
of Baron.
the follow-up to Make America Great Again, or MAGA, would be Keep America Great, which is my initials. And
Oh, no.
I love Keepa.
luckily, I feel like that one didn't stick quite as much.
Yeah, right.
That
right.
motherfucker, despite his best efforts, that man could not keep America great.
Yeah.
Because America has always sucked. But before we dive into it,
Yes.
I need some advice from you guys.
Oh.
I've been having some problems recently, and they're like, it's like kind of always like family problems, and I'm not really sure what I can do about it. But one of my relatives
Has the desert sickness.
No, I wish it were that simple. But usually she's quite tame and like doesn't attack people. But the other day I tried to demonstrate how, docile she usually is by getting the sand ruby, excuse me. And she fucking attacked me. I don't know what to do about it. Her name's Lion. She is my aunt. Having trouble with folks? Is this thing on? Hello, folks. My aunt Lion. Yeah, aunts of Lion.
Have you tried not getting physically close to her when her eyes are red?
Have you tried not attacking when the tail is up? Nah, but I don't have any problems and I don't have any family, so it's all good. It's just a silly joke.
I decided this season going to the bathroom should be called Going Through the Watery Pass.
The Serpent's Path or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm here for it. It only took us, 4 episodes this time? But
yeah. So
we cast darkness.
So we do come out of the other side of the Watery Pass. That's where we left off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just killed Octomam. May she rest. My other aunt.
R.I.P. I'm gonna pour one out.
My aunt, the aunt to my 8 cousins. Yeah, it's like we're in like a small little meadow, and then there's just more desert, and Damacyan's right there.
Right, and so we start to approach
cool.
Damacyan.
It looks
It
cool.
looks really nice.
I can't wait to try
Yeah.
out their food and like meet the locals, and like shoot the shit
Talk
a
to
little
the
bit.
king and queen, and
Yeah,
It's kind of like Disney
it'll
World.
be good.
got a good
And then,
feeling about this.
And then about 5 steps before we enter it, the map zooms out automatically.
So you know
And
that's
you
a good
just-
sign.
Yeah, and you see 3 of the Red Wings fly overhead and just bomb the shit out of it. Just
Like, oh, cool.
completely annihilate it.
The Red Wings, I know those guys. Hey fellas, what's
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
Oh
Hey,
god,
guys.
no.
Cecil does that thing where you like put your hand next to your face and look away a little bit so like they don't notice him.
It's the meme of that like monkey puppet or whatever where it's looking and then it looks real concerned and just like looks away. Do you guys know?
Yeah,
what
looks
I'm
away.
talking about?
I do, yeah.
So Damacyan just got fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
They didn't even
damn,
stop. They just kind of
Damn.
like do a little drive-by. They're like,
It's really fast. It's almost kind of comical, to be honest.
it really
like,
just
how
felt like
quickly
a
it
moment
happens.
from the Lego movie when the pirate ship finally lifts off from the from the cloud, and it just kind
Yeah.
of bloop, and just it's the same kind of like Lord Miller timing we all know and love.
Yeah. It's really good. But yeah, once we enter the castle on the world map, did y'all go straight into the castle main area?
Is there?
Yeah. Is there anything to like explore, or do you just mean like
There
enemies along the way?
is.
Ooh, shit! I'm really bad at exploring this season.
So once you enter the castle, the very first tile that you're standing on, or in the 3D version, it's not really done in tiles, but where you actually enter at is like one space outside of the castle, and you can actually, instead of going into the castle, immediately go right, and you can walk along the outside perimeter of the castle.
Ooh.
And there is a hidden room in the back right that you can go to, and it's like the treasury of Damacyan.
Whoa, that's where all the high schoolers go to smoke.
That's right. And I have a list of what's down there.
That's really
There's
cool.
actually
Ooh, I'm watching the walkthrough. There's a
Yeah,
walkthrough.
there's a guy down there who's like, it's actually kind of sad when you talk to him. He's like, oh, the bombs have blinded me. I can't see. Please take anything that's in here and use it to keep Baron from doing this to other nations. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'd feel pretty bad about like witnessing that crew that I used to like command just absolutely
like
fucking level this goddamn like castle, and then like slip around, find the treasury, and be like, yo, I'm just gonna take this shit because I don't think anyone even needs. Like, I would feel bad about that, but it's cool that the guy's like, yo, use this to help us.
Yeah. And basically he gives you you're allowed to press a button on the wall, and that lets you like walk into what I would call the nether space, but like where the actual map ends. You get to walk into the black space and then kind of go back around into these what look like jail cells and take items from there.
Wow.
But it's cool because you get a crossbow back there, or it's a upgraded bow in the 3D
Power
versions.
bow,
I think it's a power bow. Yeah. And once you go downstairs, you can also find some holy arrows.
Whoa, hell yeah.
So if you're using the bow on like Rydia or something like that, you can equip those.
Which I am, because it's cool as hell to just be like, here, small girl. When you're not calling your chocobo to kick the shit out of everything, just use this fucking bow.
Yo, I got so much use out of the fucking Choco summon this time.
Yo, same.
Check out these bows.
Yeah, check out these bows. But yeah, there's some stuff down there. Also, I think one of you guys at least was watching when I was playing this section, and I went down into the basement, and like in the 3D version, or well, say in the 2D version, there's 6 or 8 chests, something like that, in the center of the room, and then some pots on the outside, and there's items in the pots. On the 3D version, there's a pot on the outside of the room.
Some pots.
On the 3D version, the pots were not there, but they still kept me from walking over them, and I still could press the confirm button and grab them. And I was like, did they just not populate? Was there just like an error like in my game where they just didn't show up? So it was kind of odd. Yeah, I was like, what? So they're still there though. I still got the stuff from them. There's some money down there, and a leather hat.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
A new hat.
Well, she's got a new hat.
You talking about like being allowed to push a button on the wall just reminded me. I went back and listened to I think it was the first episode that we were talking about this, and you were like, this game introduces you to the mechanic of pushing buttons. And like when I wasn't looking at my screenshots and I was like kind of like not fully like listening or whatever, and I heard that, I was like, wait, don't you push buttons in all Final Fantasy video games? Don't you push
I couldn't remember.
No. I just mean in terms of like, I was thinking of like the buttons on a controller. You were like, oh yeah, like you get to push buttons. Like this is a cool mini game.
Tired of playing video games with your face.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a better way.
Yeah, smashing the orange with your face. There's a better way. But yeah, there's that little hidden side room. There's nothing on the left side though, and there's nothing out in like the courtyard of Damacyan Castle either, as far as I could tell anyway.
Yeah, that's super cool. I love when games do stuff like that where they just kind of like reward exploration.
Yeah, I will say, like, just going forward in FF4, always try to do that kind of thing, because like
it makes sense.
Most locations have something like that.
Neat.
That's very cool. Yeah, it's like I found the one with the in like the fountain or whatever we called it, where you like followed like the river down and find the secret chests, and felt good about that. And
yeah. It's really good.
I feel like there's probably some in the cavern that we're coming up to that I didn't.
I didn't find any in the cavern.
Yeah, so.
But whatever. Anyway. Yeah. So we get to go up the castle.
Yeah, so now we get to explore, you know, if there are any survivors in this freshly done war crime.
And there are a couple as we go up the levels of the tower, right? Like there's a lot of people who have not survived the blast, but every now and again you'll see somebody like on the floor, like clearly in pain and injured, being like, "Oh, please go upstairs, like see if the royal family is still there." And they talked to us about the magic pot that's upstairs.
Yeah.
I was like, sick. That's where they keep their magic pot.
That's where they keep all the dankness.
Yeah.
Crystals.
But yeah, there's really nothing until we get to the top floor, right?
Yeah, just kind of like destroyed scenery, and I think isn't there a point where there's like a shit ton of like treasure chests, and they're all pretty much empty?
Yeah, with the exception of one
which has like a tent in it or something. I don't think it's anything major. It's not something cool that like we can use to get revenge or whatever. I mean, maybe we can use this tent to do that, but
yeah, there are mostly just gravely injured NPCs who are all like, we had no warning, fire and airships from the sky, they stole the crystal. So
yeah, so Damacyan was a place that held another one of the crystals.
Yeah.
Go figure.
So they now have 2 of them. How do they get down off the airships?
That's a good question. Yeah. So I mean, if we just take that,
I can't believe we just stood by and watched.
If we take that at like face value, and not just like, oh, okay, it's a Super Nintendo game and they weren't really, they weren't trying to do like accurate rendering cutscenes or anything like that. But we can kind of just assume like, okay, so they went in there. It also kind of makes sense with all of the treasure chests being like open except for the one.
Yeah,
like,
right.
They went in there, they ransacked it, and they took the crystal and then left. And then instead of just being like, yeah, we got your crystal, whatever, like they were like, oh, let's loop back and fucking destroy them.
Right, yeah,
dark.
all the open treasure chests.
I'm guessing there's like, because of this, the way the overworld works is that the chronology of it all is that we were approaching from a distance. And like, it doesn't actually take us 5 seconds to walk across the desert. We maybe saw in the distance Damacyan is getting raided and pillaged. And
or like, or maybe like a different team or something was in to steal the shit and then get out.
I figure it was like pirates. They just like threw rope ladders down and shit.
You know what they did? I know exactly what they did.
Swashbuckled.
Imagine, if you will, Bevel. It's wedding day. And there's an airship flying on in, and everyone is just like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Dreamcast grinding in to steal the crystal and also have Lulu piggyback ride.
So yeah, like when you finally get up to the top floor of the castle, right? We get up there and there is a lady who's just laying on the floor, right? And this is Anna, and it's really a bummer. This is who Tellah was looking for, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so he sees her and she's like dying. She's mortally wounded, and he runs up and he's like, "Oh my God, Anna, no!"
Yeah.
yeah, it's a real fucking bummer. But he's like, "Oh my God, Anna, how could this have happened? What's going on?" And from the corner, we see a bard run out. The bard prince himself comes out of this out of the corner, right?
Mm-hmm. The silver-tongued bard that we've heard so much about.
The silver-tongued bard himself. And Tellah's like, "Oh my God, it's you! I'm gonna fucking kill you! This is your fault that this happened.
Yeah, like this is all your fault. Like if she didn't come here, she'd be fine."
Right. And so we actually get into a battle with him. Like Tellah and him actually engage in a battle together. It's pretty wild.
In the 3D version, Tellah just says, "You Spoony bard."
You Spoony bard. It's the line. He says the line.
Yeah. In the Super Nintendo one, he says, "You swindler," and the bard's like, "Please listen." And I think after a couple like lines of dialogue, like he finally says that. Yeah, he actually like attacks the bard and then just says, "You Spoony bard."
yeah. In my game he attacked him. I think he missed every time except for one and did like 13 damage. But yeah, every time he attacks him, he says like, "Oh, you swindler, you rouse you," and then Edward's always like, "Oh, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything. Like, you listen to me.
Please stop, listen." And Tellah's just like, "Shut up," and like just wailing on him with a staff. It's so funny. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, I think in what was it, the 3DS one was like, "Yeah, things are not how they appear," and then Tellah's like, "I see quite well how they are," and just like,
God, Tellah fucking rules. I want Tellah to kick my ass.
"I beg you, hear my words."
I want to marry Tellah's daughter and have him kick my ass.
But yeah. So Edward's begging him to stop, and then after like 3 or 4 turns,
yeah. But eventually, someone else chimes in and says, "Please stop," and it's Anna. And then we get like more of a cutscene where she's still just laying where we found her, but she's like pleading that that Tellah stop attacking the bard.
Right. And so the battle finishes, and I guess Anna's having like a last moment of lucidity.
Oh, she's completely fine. That's such good news.
She's fine. Everything's okay. But yeah, she's like, oh, stop it. She kind of explains that Edward didn't kidnap her, right? So like they both eloped to Damacyan together, and like by choice. Like he didn't like do something to her to get her to go. And she says, yeah, we eloped there. He came to Kaipo, and we met each other and we fell in love, and we're gonna move, and we eloped to Damacyan, and we were going to get married, but before we did, I said, oh, I can't do this without my father's blessing, so I need to go get his blessing. So she was actually getting ready to leave to go back to Kaipo to find Tellah and like ask him if it was okay or whatever. And as they were getting ready to leave, that's when fucking Golbez and the Red Wings actually came in and took over and started bombing the entire place. It was like the worst timing possible. Oof. Yeah, I know, it's very fucking sad. Rough.
In the 3D version, they kind of parse that a little differently. Where it's like, I'm sorry, like Edward is actually like the Prince of Damacyan, and he was basically disguised as kind of like a commoner to kind of keep things under wrap. And but it seems like they were maybe fleeing here to like for safety, maybe.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's similar in the Super Nintendo version.
Oh yeah, they do say they were about to return, and of course the Red Wings laid siege to us, led by a man named Golbez.
This is the first time we get to hear about Golbez, baby.
Sounds like he would be a WCW wrestler.
Golbez with the chair.
What a slobber knocker. It's the same in the Super Nintendo version. She does his father. Edward is the Prince of Damacyan, and he was disguised as a bard. I think Alex, you're right that it was probably like that they were trying to like keep it under wraps, because I imagine if the prince is like going somewhere like that, it's going to be a problem.
It could also be one of those things where like, if the prince was going to marry a commoner, like it would be such an issue. Like old like fucking Disney movies and shit always had that as like a trope.
Yeah.
Right.
It's even some Game of Thrones type stuff where like, oh, we thought like the Targaryens kidnapped this girl and whatever, and like gave birth to all these like dragon blood kids, but it was actually like an affair that like would have been frowned upon at the time, kind of thing. It's a very kind of common trope, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they say he was a figure clad in armor of deepest night. Oh yeah, so like another dark night.
Darker night.
Let's fucking go.
the darker night.
Yeah, this is the Dark Knight versus the Dark Knight Rises.
Golbez just sounds like a Spanish evolution of Golbat.
It's Golbez. But yeah, so he's the new captain of the Red Wings, and I was thinking like, oh, is this dude another Dark Knight? Like, is it like evil Cecil? You know what I mean? Like they're the same thing.
Well, I'm sure as soon as Cecil like was
Chad
fired or
Cecil.
left, they're like, we gotta promote someone.
Yeah, we gotta find somebody who has like the same job as Cecil, same build as Cecil, same armor as Cecil, and knows all the same skills as Cecil. They're just like replacing him, like piece by piece.
We also find out that Anna is met her fate because she was shielding Edward from an onslaught of arrows.
Yeah. They say that Edward's parents, the king and queen, were shot or were killed, and then Anna shielded him from the remainder of the arrows. So she actually gave her life to save the Prince of Damacyan.
It's a real bummer. We're not having
real bummer.
We're having real bad luck on all these cities we're going to.
Yeah, I know. Like, I feel like FF4 is just it's just the string of failures all the way across the board.
Yeah, it just seems like every city we've come to is just bummer city.
Yeah, I know. We're always like a step late. Like every time we get somewhere, we're just like a minute late. If only we would have got there a couple seconds earlier.
Yeah.
I
feel like that would suck too if you like went and enjoyed a place and were like, oh, that was nice. Finally, tragedy didn't strike. And then like you leave and go to the next area, and then you see a cutscene of like, like just the fucking airships mowing shit.
Dude,
down.
you should have been there, man.
I guess you had to be there. So yeah, then she asks Tellah for forgiveness. She tells Edward that she loves him, and then she just she dies.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise, right? And I will say, though, that Tellah's voice acting in this section is incredible. It's so good because he goes from being like very distraught, where he's like, Anna, no, don't move on. And then he just like calms down and becomes very, very monotone and just says, "This Golbez, tell me more of him."
Anna? Anna! This Golbez. Tell me more of him.
I've heard he came to Baron only recently. It seems he's using the Red Wings to steal crystals.
This shit just got real.
Yeah, this just got fucking real. But yeah, he says, "Tears do not bring back the dead boy," which might be a little bit rough on Edward.
Yeah, not only did his lady just die, but she died protecting him, which like gonna get some survivor's guilt thrown into the mix.
Yeah, right.
His whole family's dead.
Yeah, his whole kingdom is gone.
Yeah, I know. He just had literally lost everything all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he says, "Anna's death must be avenged. I will find this Golbez." And Cecil, like, Tellah's helped us out, so Cecil's like ready to like help out in turn, and he's like, "Tellah, not alone." And Tellah says, "She was not your daughter. Her killer will die by my hand."
That really fucking rules. It's a little more clunky in the Super Nintendo because he just says, "Your tears won't bring back Anna. Wait for me, Golbez. I'm coming to avenge my daughter."
I'm coming.
Still pretty cool. I think that's like the theme of the 3D version. It sounds way better in that sense.
And it's all fully voiced.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But then Tellah leaves the party, so like we just got him, and he's like already gone.
Yeah.
I totally missed that he was in the party.
It says Tellah left on the Super Nintendo version. I think it's like Tellah left the party in future versions. But
yeah, like we like just got him. I think it's hilarious that we like got this character. He's like really cool. All of us were like, "Oh, this dude fucking rules!" Like I can't wait to use him for the rest of the game. Yeah, and then like immediately after that, we're just like, "Oh, he's gone."
I mean,
it makes sense too. He's pretty fucking overpowered.
I guess that makes sense.
So.
We fulfilled his purpose. He was like, "Yeah, help me get to this place," and we did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was a fake friend anyway. It's fine. I'm relaxed of it.
And Edward is crying over Anna's body, and Rydia just out of nowhere just calls him a coward.
Yeah, she fucking lets him have it.
You're a grown man, aren't you? A grown man.
Yeah, she calls him a fucking coward and says, "You're a man, aren't you? A grown man.
Get over
Stop
it."
crying. I have.
She calls him a crybaby in the Super Nintendo version, which is extremely good.
Yeah, I do like this about Rydia. I feel like she is like the young character who's supposed to be protected, but instead we're like seeing her already kind of becoming like this badass and taking charge of her own destiny.
Yeah, she's like overcoming that trope because obviously like you think about like how we found her and how she joined the party and it's like, oh, Cecil's like, I'm gonna protect you, but like she's definitely not falling into the like, oh, I need to be protected thing. She's like, yo, motherfucker, welcome to the real world, motherfucker. Like everyone's got lost loved ones. You have to fucking deal with it.
There goes gravity.
Now back to reality. You wouldn't last 5 minutes in my world.
You wouldn't last 5 minutes in the Valley of the Mist.
When it first starts off, I think it felt like some Pain Olympics. Like, dude, get over it. I've been through worse. I'm like, well, but immediately it seems like she's telling him to like be proactive. Instead of just like sitting around doing nothing. Like Tellah at least like has kind of the drive to like just keep going. Like I'm gonna deal with this. I guess I don't know if that's actually real life like healthy, but
yeah, right. I do feel like this game goes a little bit hard on Edward.
Yeah,
like the dude just did, like he just lost both of his parents and his kingdom and his fiance. Like maybe the guy can have a little bit of a break.
Yeah, for sure. And like pain is like a completely relative thing, and like grief and stuff hits people differently in different ways, and it's, you know.
Is this starting off strong with the kind of the trend that Edward is supposed to be kind of like a dandy in some ways?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of, I mean, in all other renders, he seems like kind of a more of like, you know, a theater kid, a little bit more effeminate, a little more theatrical, and maybe a little more in touch with the sensitive side.
Yeah.
And so I think Edward, maybe everyone's just railing on him for not being manly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like in his next line, he literally says something like, "It doesn't matter anymore. Nothing does. Nothing matters."
Yeah, I mean, in Edward's defense, he can't live the button-down life like you. He wants it all. He wants the terrifying highs, the
dizzying lows,
the terrifying lows, the dizzying highs, the creamy middles. Sure, he might offend a few of the blue noses with his cocky stride and musky odors. Oh, he'll never be the darling of the so-called city fathers who cluck their tongues, stroke their beards, and talk about what's to be done with this spoony bard.
I'm looking at this rendering, it just reminds me of Orpheus from Hades. Just a freaking emo with a harp.
Yo, hell yeah. It's a good look. I feel like the my first introduction to that look was probably Sheik in Ocarina of Time.
It's a tiny little hat.
It's a good
It's
good
the smallest hat on this render.
Yeah, so Cecil ends up smacking him after he says, nothing matters anymore. And he's like, look, man, we came all the way out here to see you. Like, Baron, we need people to go up against Baron. Our friend is in danger, and you're the only one who can save her.
Yeah.
Like, we need you to pull it together. You have a chance to save somebody else's life. So, like, we need your help now.
Yeah, it's like, I got bad news for you, dude. You're like the third group of people that this happened to, at least, that we know of. Like, this, there's no stopping this fucking train, and you can either just stand by and, let the trolley car go by, or you can try and fucking stop the trolley altogether.
Right. Yeah, and I think that, like, this is something that kind of gives him a little bit of purpose, because, like, his fiance is dead, the king and queen are dead, the country is in ruins. So this kind of gives him, like, a purpose in life, you know what I mean? Like, when Cecil's like, yo, my friend is sick, and you can help her. It kind of gives him something to do. And so, he's just like, all right, I'll try to help. I have a hovercraft.
Yeah, that fucking rules. He's winning some homie points really quick.
Yeah, it's like, what does Martin say when he's like, oh, somehow I hope me and my $400 can help us have a good summer break somehow. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I hope I can help by giving you this sick fucking hovercraft, this brand new whip that we can roll around with.
It really is like the buggy combined with the tiny Bronco.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, in function at least. But it looks like the buggy from FF7.
Yeah, it now lets us take like the desert and the land, and now we can go across shoals as well, right?
Yeah, there's like rocky textures that we can kind of go over that lets us access different continents, but we can't like go across the ocean or
like
anything.
The tiny Bronco.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Shallow water.
Almost like it's a Final Fantasy trope of some kind.
In a cave far to the east dwells a monstrous creature known as an Antlion. The pearls you seek form from the fluid the beast secretes as it lays its eggs in the sand.
I do love to secrete a good fluid, though, let me tell you. Yum, yum, yum. Love to drink the forbidden secretion. How does a ruby form from a secretion?
Pressure?
Pressure? If you pressurize some secretion hard enough?
Yeah, is that, like, if it was like I feel like if it was a pearl, that would make more sense.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. Like, how does it make a ruby? How are rubies made? Okay, Google, how are rubies made?
How is ruby formed?
According to Discover magazine, the majority of the world's ruby deposits are in a discontinuous band of marble that stretches 1,800 miles along the southern slope of the Himalayas from Tajikistan through Afghanistan, Pakistan, Kashmir, Nepal, and on into China and Vietnam.
Oddly absent is the Antlion Cave and Damacyan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to write a letter to Sakaguchi about this.
Yeah, right. But I suppose we should probably get on down there and get ourselves a sand ruby.
Yeah, Carl's probably waiting for us to get the AC running.
Yeah.
Nice and warmed up for us. So.
Do not smash the glass. He has the AC running and is listening to his favorite music.
Cool. Let's go see him.
Alrighty.
Wow! They'll never let us record that one again. Not in a million years. Welcome back. Welcome back to all of our listeners who may or may not have had a rock tumbler plugged in instead of their podcasting device. How's everyone doing?
I think that was probably some of the funniest podcasting we've ever done. I think people are gonna really, really like section 1.
I think so as well,
podcast.
and I think it's so good that we should probably make it like a Patreon tier. Honestly,
yeah,
I feel a little guilty giving it away for free. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I got a feeling that years and years from now, when we start like preserving some of the most important pieces of podcast culture, that first section of this episode is gonna be one of them.
It's gonna,
like, it's really good.
It's like that moment in the
Simpsons.
Simpsons.
To Alexandria with that one.
It's like the moment in the Simpsons where the Future Society scans the piece of concrete that Bart put his name in. And they were like,
what's normal to him amazes us.
But they're just like they're like, wow, he must have been really smart to put his name in this concrete. We have no idea how he did it. He must be way smarter than his sister Lisa, of whom we know nothing.
We know nothing. So anyway, we'll make our way over to the Antlion's den.
We made it.
Hell yeah, we've made it.
My Ant Lion.
Our auntie lion.
Shed a single tear for jokes lost. Anyway,
what we can do, Curtis, is play back the original two of you, me, and Carl synced up, and you can just react like you normally would.
Yeah,
Dude, I pretend like it's actually us.
I could probably fucking do it.
I mean, we still have 2/3 of the recording.
We still have 2/3 of it. I could probably fucking do it.
You do have a pretty boomy voice, and my headphones might pick up some of that. I don't know. Who knows?
What I'll do is, like, every time Carl starts talking, when I re-record over, I'll go, stop it! Shut up!
Carl,
shut up!
Shut up! So for those who can't put 2 and 2 together through our vague Simpsons references, we might have lost part of the first part 1 recording, which you will not know because we'll have fixed that by the time this comes out, maybe, somehow. But the important thing is Baron destroyed Damacyan so badly that it also destroyed Curtis's recording. And now we are picking up the pieces and we are continuing to the den of the Antlion.
Oh boy.
Which I think is just east of the Damacyan ruins, the new Damacyan ruins.
Northeast.
We don't. Oh yes, we do need the buggy to go across the river.
Yeah, we're using that sick fucking hovercraft that Edward gave us. If you go into it with Rydia, she actually starts ghost riding it, which is really fucking cool.
Ghost riding to whip.
Yeah, she's ghost riding it, doing fucking donuts in the desert. It's real
pretty
cool.
sick.
Notably, there is, like, I think for the first time in this game that I've noticed, there's another area that you can go to.
Yes.
That's not on the immediate path. And I was like, oh, cool. But it kind of gives you some clues that you shouldn't be here yet. One, there's just a fuck ton of ice in the path.
Yeah.
That, like, you can't get past. And 2, the enemies are really fucking tough.
Yep.
They can fuck you up. I also like it because in like the Vita version, the complete edition or whatever, like there's just a skeleton like kind of half out of the ground in like on the floor. And then you run into random encounters of skeletons and they are rough.
Yeah. So that's Mount Hobbs, and we don't want to go to Mount Hobbs yet.
Yeah, don't go there yet.
Instead, go to the Antlion's den.
Yeah, which is just like a little, conspicuous cave that's just kind of sitting right there.
Yeah. I like that we actually start at the top of the Antlion's den and then go, like, into it.
It's very cool, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like we're actually descending into it in a way that I really enjoy.
It was cool, too, because I think in the first one, it's like first floor or like basement 1 or something, and then you go to basement 2 and you go down several levels, and then it's just you're in Antlion's den when you're all the way at the bottom, and it's super sick.
And we have an extra party member now, or not an extra one, I guess. Tellah left, so we still have 3, but we have a different party member now.
We've got Edward from Cowboy Bebop.
The very same. And Edward has 3 skills that we haven't seen yet, right? Aside from attack and item. So he has Salve, which heals all the party. Oh, it depends on what it actually kind of depends. On the SNES version, it just heals all the party members for use of 1 potion.
Very good.
So it removes a potion from inventory and does like 80 to 90 HP for everybody in the party. So like super useful. Like very, very handy skill.
Yeah, it's like a cure-all for potions.
Right. And then in the 3D versions, you actually select a item from your inventory to use on everyone. So basically it's just like an item all kind of thing.
Oh, that's sick.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think in the complete edition, it just randomly selects whatever potion you have. Or maybe it's not random. I'm assuming it's random, kind of like auto potion is in like Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, whichever your best potion is.
Yeah, exactly, or highest in the inventory or something. I didn't really play around with it too much, but I also
bring
didn't really
us
use
your
it that
finest potion. Yeah, but he can hide is something that he can do.
That's a cool skill. I like it. I like the animation too, where he kind of like he's like, so there's the different rows that we have in the battle, where it's like the front row and the back row for Final Fantasy common thing, and then he's like behind the back row and he just kind of cowers a little bit. He's like hiding and like kind of in a fetal position.
But hide kind of like removes him from the fight, right?
Yeah,
like he's not allowed to take any other actions, but he doesn't take damage.
He doesn't take damage. Yeah, I think he can unhide, at least in like the Vita version.
You can, yeah.
So he can jump back into the battle. And also if he's hiding when you win the battle, he will still get experience points. So it's not like he ran away really, and it's not like he got knocked out in the battle. Right.
And the other one he has is Bard Song, or Sing, I think, in FF2. But in the 2D versions, you do have to have a harp equipped to use this. So I think in the 3D versions, you can have like a bow and arrow, but you actually need a harp in the 2D versions to use Sing. And if I remember right, it just, in the 2D versions, it's kind of random. There's a 1/4 chance of inflicting sleep, confuse, silence, or nothing when he sings. And then in the 3D versions, you actually get to pick from a list of songs.
Oh,
and he learns those through level up. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. It's a pretty useful skill for maybe a couple of minutes until we get something else in here, and then it's not as useful, although, I would say. At least in my experience.
Is something hilarious about the Sing skill, though, that I love. So just like I'd never noticed that Tellah's stats go down. Like when he levels up, and like I never knew before that if you killed the officer, the guards become confused, etc. I also never knew that if Edward is turned into a toad, he will always use Toad Song no matter what, which turns the enemies into toads as well.
Oh, that's really cool.
Which I thought was pretty funny. I was like, oh shit, it's like a hidden song that he can do, but it only works when he's a toad.
That's sick. That's awesome.
Isn't
I
that
thought you were
wild?
going to say, so there's an item that we're going to be able to get in the Antlion stand on one of the floors that it's not really too much of a spoiler. I feel like there's not really too much to talk about in this dungeon other than what we already said, where it's cool how it feels like you're descending, and yeah, it's just kind of like sort of maze-like, and we can open up treasure chests. But one of the items that we can get is called a Lamia, which is like a better harp for Edward, and I think it also is likely to cause confusion if it hits.
You know what I really like about the Lamia harp?
Well, what's that?
So you know how like in FF7 and in FF10 we had a whole like episode dedicated to ultimate weapons. You remember that? We were like, this is so and so's ultimate weapon, their final weapon. So one of the very first chests that we get in the Antlion's Den is the Lamia harp. This is Edward's ultimate weapon.
Oh shit! Really? That's sick.
This is his highest damaging weapon. Unless you're doing like the extra shit in the advanced games where they like put a bunch of extra shit on the end of the game. Where you
they add a monster like arena where you can fight and grind spheres so that you can then get the celestial weapon and all the sigils and stuff for Edward. But who wants to do that?
But as far as the main game goes, though, this is Edward's ultimate weapon. So we did it. We completed his route.
And we didn't have to play a single fucking chocobo minigame. That's awesome. But I'm not sure if this is like a mechanic in it or it was just a weird coincidence that I had. But when I first tried using the Lamia, it would not hit like at all. I would constantly miss. And then like slowly I started just getting consistently hitting with it. And pretty much every time he hits, it confusing one of the enemies.
Yeah. There's a 30% chance to confuse. So
and I was like, maybe that's a secret thing where like the more you use it, the better Edward gets at playing it and singing. So like the more accurate. I don't think that's the case, but that's how it felt to me.
So I will say this: the damage that's done to the enemy is actually dependent on how many music notes come out of his harp. And like as he levels up and uses the harp, that does get better.
That's really cool. Nice. I also noticed that in this section of the game, I noticed with critical hits, they work very similarly to how they worked in Final Fantasy 1, where it's like I'll see Cecil swing his sword twice, and then I'll do like 100 damage instead of like the 40 or 50 that he was doing.
Yeah.
And I also noticed it with Rydia, because I just got her with the bow, and she's just shooting arrows, and sometimes she would shoot 2 arrows at once, and it would do more damage. I'm like, yo, that's really cool. Like, it doesn't say like 2 hit or 3 hit or whatever like it did in the earlier.
FF1,
yeah. But it's the same thing, which I thought was really cool.
Right. Yeah. No, that is how it works. It's pretty badass. But yeah, there's not too much in this area, I guess.
I like the intertwining caves.
Yeah.
This is a little less linear than the past dungeon, which I like that they kind of upgrading. Like the first dungeon was like one screen, and the other one's like now we have multiple floors, and this one has like a little bit of like kind of intertwining backtracking to kind of make it even a little bit more. It's a nice little progression of making the dungeons slightly more complex.
It's kind of confusing, and like I didn't realize that until my return trip, where I just went all the way down, fought the spoiler alert boss that we're gonna fight, and then you have to like leave, or you can use one of the items that we can get, which is either called like I think exit, or I forget what it was called in the
it's something door.
It's basically an escape rope from Pokemon. Shout out to Take Care Dittos.
It is, yeah. Which I definitely used on the way out here.
Yeah, I went into like game hoarding mode, and I was just like, this seems a little too precious to use. I'm gonna just wait until I beat the game to use it.
Right, yeah.
It's like an elixir or whatever. But I do want to talk a little bit of shit real quick on gamefacts.gamespot.com/ps/197337-final-fantasy-iv-map or map//map/50-50-Antlion-cave-map.
Canceled.
That is, I gotta cancel you. Created by starfighter76@hotmail.com on this is copyrighted on 5/22/07. I'm looking at your map here. Looks very good. You did a good job drawing it. It's very accurate, I would seem. Except you said that the fucking boss of this area is Octomam. The boss of this area is not Octomam. God damn it.
Spoiler.
Boy, I hope someone got fired for that one.
Oh boy. Oh, you know what?
After you defeat the Octomam boss, you will get the Sand Ruby. I don't know if comments are enabled, because I feel like someone would have to. Some gamers would get pissed about that, right? Surely not me.
Well, speaking of bosses and enemies in here, there are also several enemies in this area too.
Oh yeah.
And I like that they all kind of have like their own elemental weaknesses, but they follow like not Pokemon rules, and that pisses me off a lot.
Yeah, that I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. And I feel like it threw me off too. Are you talking about like the flans or
the yellow jelly?
Yeah, those fuckers.
Look, I got lucky the first time. Yeah, like I just had Rydia use Blizzard, and it was weakness, and then they were done.
Hold on just a second. One second.
Yeah, so you mean the jellies that you found in the previous one, which might have been
yellow?
The blue
no, they were yellow
jellies?
jellies were weakness to Blizzard for some reason.
Yellow jellies. I'm looking at their Final Fantasy wiki page. Their weakness is lightning. They only take a normal damage from Blizzard.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Like, it was the same thing.
Why would it be lightning? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna. You know that old phrase that they always say, "Fight lightning with lightning."
Yeah, right. That's so dumb.
That's in Lightning Returns.
Shout outs to all those fucking lightning storms we've been having recently, because the world is in fact ending or has already ended, and times are scary.
Yeah, they would have been fucking ruined in that thunderstorm.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my fucking house was ruined. Like, our power never goes out, and our power went out for like 3 fucking hours.
Jesus.
I was like, cool, we just got a bunch of food from the grocery store. Hope it doesn't all go bad. Let's go.
We were driving home from New York in that thing. It was nuts. Anyway.
Yeah, you had to change a tire in
I
that,
had to change a tire in that. It sucked.
What a Chad.
Well, I was more like a soggy loser.
I'm regularly a soggy loser, so I relate.
But regardless,
you're a soggy winner to me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Regardless, there are several other enemies. The Adamantoise is here. How about that?
Oh yeah,
Which
classic.
They're big turbos.
Love that guy.
Yeah. And in the 2D versions, the FF4 or whatever, it there's not enough space for adamantoys, so it's named Adamantimmy. And I'm like, oh, little Timmy.
Little Timmy.
Little Adamantimmy.
I love the sprite work.
Oh, it's so good. The Adamantoy sprite work is great.
It's pretty scary. Like, I feel like in most of the ones that I've found in Final Fantasy games that I've played aren't really that, like, threatening looking. You know, they're just kind of like cute turtles. Yeah, this one's got, like, fucking fangs and shit.
Yep.
It's a nasty looking dragon turtle. Oh yeah, the PSV sprite's pretty nasty. I'm looking at the goofy looking 3D sprite.
Yeah, I love it. He's got claws too. It's scary.
It's nasty looking. If you've played some Dark Souls, then you'll immediately be thrown off because there are basilisks here. And so as soon as I saw those, I was like, no.
I don't have any purging stones. Oh no.
It's the depths all over again.
It's going to curse me.
But yeah, so there are basilisks down here. There's a couple different enemies down here. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to point out is that, like, a lot of the enemies are weak to the element that they are, which threw me for a fucking loop.
Yeah, weird convention, but
like,
I guess, like,
the Adamantoys is a turtle. Why would it be weak to fucking Blizzard? That makes no sense.
Maybe they're just
I didn't even realize that.
We didn't give you enough time with the lightning weaknesses from last dungeon. We're gonna keep it going.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for old time's sake. I know exactly why I didn't realize that with the Adamantoys, because I was just spamming the fucking Lamia attack and confusing them and then letting them, like, kill themselves or
Yeah, that's the way to
friends.
do it.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that weapon.
It's really good. Notably, there is an extra shadow blade in the 3D versions. I guess just in case you forgot it last time.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You guess one to sell.
Yeah, right. Yeah, one to keep, one to sell.
Shadow sword, never worn.
I always buy one.
For
I want
sale.
one. I don't take out of the package. The other one's for me.
Yeah, no, he's just gonna start fucking dual wielding.
Oh fuck.
Let's see. There is a save point down here. Nice little save room.
Did not find that until after I beat the boss.
you have to go to B2 and then track back up to B1.
So like we were saying, like non-linear, kind of like maze-like, pretty cool.
Right. But other than that, I think the big deal is the Antlion, right?
Hell yeah. The friendly old Antlion.
Friendly old Antlion.
Yeah, this dungeon wasn't as big as I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I think the Antlion's on B3, right?
Yeah. It's on 3. It felt like the last dungeon was way bigger and way more windy.
Yeah, and there was a lot more exploration in it with that, like, hidden dark cave that led to a treasure and stuff. So I was like, okay, so the final floor, like the actual proper Antlion's den, is like, we see like a sand world, or I guess we don't really see it yet, but you gotta just go down like a stairwell or something. But there's multiple like ringed levels of it that get smaller and smaller.
I love this floor.
So I was like, yo, I know there's going to be a fucking treasure chest on one of these things. I can't see much of it. So I walked all around the first one, and then I went down to the second one and tried walking all around it. And then, like, I was like, oh, there's literally just nothing here. I've just been getting into a million fucking zombie encounters or whatever.
You get an extra buff. It's fine.
Wait, really?
Extra buff if you're fighting enemies and leveling up.
Oh, for some reason I was thinking like a buff, like a bronze hourglass. or something.
No.
Like an actual thing to use against. It's like, damn, I missed it.
Extra strong.
Yeah. It's really cool though. I really liked this area, and the enemies aren't too bad.
And I guess we should point out that, like, all the party members are under the impression that this is gonna be not a big deal, right? Because like Edward's like,
it's an in and out.
Yeah, Edward's like, yo, yeah, I know exactly where the sand ruby is. I know how to get it. And Antlion's an old homie of mine. It's gonna be like, yo, Edward, what's going on? And no big deal. Grab it, get out. No issue, right? And like we see the Antlion's pincers emerge from the ground, and like Cecil and Riddy are like, oh shit, and he goes, nah, it's cool. I'm just gonna run up in there and grab it real quick, no sweat. And as soon as he runs between,
has some real Always Sunny in Philadelphia energy, like, or like Homer getting stuck in the tar.
Yeah, right. And now I'll reach down and
free my arms with my face.
But he runs in between the pincers, and they snap on him, right? And he barely dodges them, and he's like, "Oh shit, that's not right."
Yeah, he was originally just like, they're quite docile, actually, like nothing to be afraid of, because like he seems like he's done this a million times. Like, just hey, I'm gonna go run and get some rubies real quick. BRB.
Right.
Going back for more ruby.
Cecil says, "Rydia, with me," to like call her back or whatever, and we get into a fight with the Antlion.
And it's it has a big mane, It's kind of cute. It's kind of furry.
It's kind of gross, kind of cute. It's kind of it walks the line.
It's not a lion.
I don't know what
joking.
I was expecting. Yeah.
Also,
I don't know what I was expecting, but it surely wasn't this.
also two very different fights depending on whether you're playing the 2D or 3D version. Like it goes very
really?
differently, yeah. Because the 2D version, the main issue is the counter, right? If you hit him with a physical attack, he's going to counter and do pretty decent damage on you. He also has his own physical attack that does decent damage too, so you do have to watch your HP during this. Luckily, we have Edward who has salve, and we can just throw potions on everybody and make it not a big deal.
Hell yeah.
But
Throw and pose. Let's go.
for what it's like, as far as I'm concerned though, like Edward doesn't do enough damage, I think, to me, to rationalize using the attack button with him. So I just didn't have an Edward attack the whole time.
I tried attacking with Edward twice, but mainly because I was like, maybe I can confuse this thing. And I didn't, so I was like, okay, fuck that.
Yeah, because like the counter is so much more damage than Edward does. So I was like, it's just not really worth it to have Edward attack like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had him on healing duty and then used Rydia and Cecil. Because like I figured Cecil does enough damage that it was fine to take a counter when he attacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's kind of similar to if you were spamming Darkness, where it's like, yeah, he'll take an attack, like he'll take damage, but he's dishing out a lot of it. But it's like we only have one enemy here, so
right.
It's like functionally very similar to that.
Right. And then Rydia, every turn, Chocobo summon. Every time.
Oh yeah. I was trying a couple things and I was like, wait, why aren't I just using summon? And then I was like, oh, that's what I'm just doing. And then like the fight was over in like no time. I was like, right.
It makes it so easy. She does so much damage to him. It's incredible.
Rules.
But where the 3D one is different though, is that the Antlion changes how his counter works as the battle goes on. So like,
oh, interesting.
The Antlion's eyeballs will shift from red to white. And when it's white, it will counter physical attacks. When it's red, it will counter magic. And so you are like alternating Cecil and Rydia's attack patterns depending on what he is.
Oh, that's super cool. I didn't even realize that.
Oh.
And once again, like as with the last boss, you fucking put darkness on Cecil in the 3D version, and he just does insane damage. Just like ridiculous. Because I think like Chocobo is doing like 150, 160, which is really good. That's like a hell of an attack. Mm-hmm. And then I hit with Cecil for like 400 damage. And just be like, oh my God.
That's so good.
It's so good. And then, yeah, just salve with Edward. But yeah, I mean, as long as you stay on top of it, Antlion's not too bad.
Have you guys seen the Yoshitaka Amano artwork of Antlion?
Yes.
It's real cool.
It's,
As
I would
usual.
say, disgusting.
Yeah, it's not the same as, you know, we're used to seeing where it's like they use that to make the sprite. It's like literally just like it surrounded by the like whirlpool of sand, and it's just fucking scary face.
Oh, I'm not even seeing that
popping
one.
out.
Oh, I see that one.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fucking
it's
terrifying.
it's super cool.
That's actually very
Like,
scary.
It's like a Sarlacc pit or something.
I wanted to say that before this
Oh God, yeah.
before this episode, I did Google antlions, and I was like, are antlions real?
Yeah,
Is that a thing?
I need to know more about this because I saw you talking about it, but I didn't want to ask because I wanted to learn in real time.
So I looked up antlions on the internet, and they are a real creature, and they kind of look like this too. Like they're really fucking nasty looking. But that's actually their larval stage. So like when they grow up and become adults, they actually look like dragonflies, like almost exactly like dragonflies.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they're a larva, they look like kind of like the antlion. And dude, it looks so fucking like ugly and brutal. And it's like one of those animals where I was like, oh, I don't feel safe in nature anymore. The fact that these are out there. And then I saw how big they are, and I was like, oh, these ain't shit. Never mind. It's fine. Like these are like,
It's the kind of thing, yeah, if they were like as big as a car, they would be fucking terrifying.
oh my God.
Or
Yo, if they were even
if
like
Rick Moranis fucked up and shrunk you down, and then you had to hang out with like an ant
Oh,
in the
yeah,
backyard and
yeah.
shit, and saw that thing, that would be scary.
I would
as hell.
say if they were even as big as like a small mouse, I'd be like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
But they're like,
the size of like my shoe.
yeah, but they're like as big as like a roly-poly or something. Like they're very, very tiny.
Yeah, they can sit on your like on your
index,
finger or
yeah.
something.
Ew, still
They're cute.
gross.
Oh, here's a cute little I don't know, I think they're kind of cute.
Also, the reason
Cute little image of like ways to find 3 ways to it's a WikiHow thing, and it says 3 ways to find and care for an antlion. And it's just like one of those drawings where it's like someone like pinching between their like
yeah.
I want to learn how to care for an antlion.
Yeah. Also, their
Steal its sand ruby. Step 1.
I like their American slang name is apparently a doodlebug.
Oh, okay. So that's what a doodlebug
That's a
is. I've
doodlebug.
heard the term doodlebug, but I didn't know that that's what it is.
Apparently,
I guess we don't really. Where are they from? Like, I feel like we don't really see them around these parts.
they have worldwide distribution.
But it came to the U.S. a little later.
They much like much like Pitbull, they are Mr. Worldwide. But yeah, so anyway, but the reason that they're called antlions too is that they do eat ants and they make little traps for them, and so they're
They
like
also eat
predators of
lions.
ants. And they eat lions, right?
Oh, okay, I see. So
Yeah.
they also have a sea version of them, which are called.
Oh god, I hate this. Oh, this picture of the bottom of one. Oh, it's disgusting.
There's sea versions of
Sorry.
it, which are called sea antlions, and then of course we have the land versions here on land, which are called land sea antlions.
Yeah.
That's a Futurama joke.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put this photo in our Discord, but we can immediately get rid of it if we'd like, because it's. I don't like him.
Oh yeah, it's got a weird fucking head area.
I don't like its tummy. Ugh.
Yeah, it's way cuter from the other side.
It's true.
It does look like that would be a weakness in a video game though. Like you get a hammer and knock it on the ground and it flips upside down and they can attack it with the sword.
Right. But yeah, after we beat it though, Edward is kind of like taken aback. He's like kind of speaking to himself and he's like, "Oh, it doesn't make any sense. Why would the antlion try to harm us?" And Cecil kind of like repeats the opening crawl of the game where he's like, "Monster populations are swelling and beasts once harmless now turn hostile. Something is afoot."
Yeah. There's a Final Fantasy afoot.
There's a Final Fantasy afoot. And Rydia says we have to get back to Rosa. And so he's like, "Oh, let's go." And we are to return to Kaipo, which we can now get to without using the watery pass, using the hovercraft.
Yeah.
Well, not the
which is
watery pass. It
very
would be
cool.
the. I guess it would be the watery pass.
Yeah.
So we get to go around the mountain, around taking the shore.
Going around a mountain.
I don't even know if we would be able to go backwards through the watery pass,
Oh,
right? I
'cause of
haven't
the
tried
waterfall.
it, but since it's like the waterfall,
jump
I
down,
wonder-
yeah.
You may be right.
At this point, you may have learned with Rydia the warp spell, which will warp you 1 level up on the in the dungeon that you're in. So you can use that if you want, or you can get that exit item or whatever.
Emergency
whatever it's
exit, I
called
think
in-
it was.
Emergency exit.
It's
Yeah,
an
yeah,
escape
yeah.
rope.
Yeah, the escape rope to just go back to the Poke Center. You know,
Buy the magic harp for 50p.
That poor Magikarp. Why do you have to? Why is that the only Pokemon you can buy?
Oh, you can buy a Porygon.
that's true. You have to gamble to buy the Porygon, though. I think you can also buy like an Abra or something at the.
Yeah, that's true.
Abra's fucking hard to catch.
Yo, Abra is hard to catch. Be teleporting on the very first turn. Anyway, next episode, we're going to deal with the events of Kaipo again, and then deal with Mount Hobbs,
Hell
where
yeah.
we'll meet another character for our party.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
How exciting. But yeah, we have the Sand
Perhaps
Ruby
there'll
now.
be some character growth of a character we already met.
Ooh, could be. Have you already played that far?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave it today.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, this is a shorter one, but there's not a whole lot that happens. We did fight another boss. You know.
We did fight another boss. We did have a couple laughs. We did find love along the way.
We had a couple laughs. We had one really big cry that had to do with live and audio and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that shit happens.
That's all right. People are going to love it when they hear the beginning of this podcast, which this joke
Yeah.
will not go as far if we actually do salvage the beginning somehow. But
I think it would be funnier if that were the
do you think
case.
so?
And better.
Yeah, people would listen to it and be like, it wasn't that good.
I also do want to say that everyone listening to this podcast should be jealous of me and Alex for getting to hear all of Curtis's great jokes in the first part, in case that can't be
I
recovered.
feel so bad because Carl told so many good jokes, and I'm like, oh, I just
Oh, it's fine. I literally already forgot them. I forget everything I say on this podcast all the time by the time we're done recording. I have the brain of an antlion. It is-
I like this record keeper at the bottom of the wiki that just says thanks, and it's an antlion.
Oh, yeah, the little stamp. The little antlion stamp that says thanks.
That just makes me think of Look Around You, that series. Like,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you, ants. Thanks. So thank you, antlion. Thank you, lion.
What-
Thanks, lion.
what is an antlion? We just don't know.
Thing is really goofy looking, Omano's version.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw the proper Amano.
Yeah, no, the one you posted was fucking terrifying.
It's super cool.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah, no, here it is. Yeah,
it just looks like the sprite, which is just looks bulging and angry.
Well, do you
I don't
guys
like
want to?
I do like Amano's color choices for it.
Yes, I agree. That like blue is very
I guess
nice.
it's all watercolor, I would imagine, right?
Maybe.
Well, they look like marker, maybe.
Yeah, it could be marker.
The way they
Who
kind of
knows?
kind of smaller and more concentrated, but watercolor markers, maybe.
Taka, Amano, use. Nobody knows. Does anyone know? Oh, nice. Thank you, Reddit, in 2015 for someone asking this very same question. Mixed media, most likely. Watercolor, acrylics, color pencils, you name it. Oh, and printmaking, too.
Oh well.
Thank you, Gact 0312.
Gacked himself.
6 years ago. Yeah, the very same Gact.
The Gacked. Wow. You guys have anything you want to announce?
No,
No, I don't think so. It's been
everyone has. It's been pretty boring.
yeah, it's been
Final
boring.
Mage Hand show. Final Mage Hand show on September 11th in Philadelphia at Milk Boy. Come see that.
Be there or
also,
Curtis will kick your butt.
I had a thought today. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but a lot of people ask us a lot of times, like, how can we support the podcast? You guys should make a Patreon or whatever. And I got asked that again the other day, and I was like, you know what we should do? We should say is that people can go to this website. Let me make sure I say it right. You can go to https://mutual aid Philly and throw some money there, which is a mutual aid group for Philadelphia. It is what the name says, but it's directly goes to people who lives in the neighborhoods who need like groceries and things like that. Sometimes like if they need help getting transportation to their job or whatever to hold down a job, it helps with that. And I was like, that literally does help us because like we live in this area and it makes the neighborhood a better place.
Hell yeah.
So
I think
do
another
that.
do that. There's another great charity that I've seen around or like mutual aid group called Homies Helping Homies. I think you can
love
find
the name of that.
Yeah, you can. They're also, I think, Philadelphia area, and they have like, I think like kitchens or like fridges that they set up all around the city for people who need food, and people donate to them. So check them out as well. I think they're on Facebook, just Homies Helping Homies. They're on Instagram. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I would
probably
say
share
that.
the link as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're
I feel like that does actually directly affect us because we live in these areas. So
yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
help out some homies.
so do that or else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on right now.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna be
just-
away for a week.
I'm just working myself until I'm a skeleton, as always.
Alex, would you like to walk in between Carl and I, who are normally docile, to retrieve the sand ruby from our eggs that we're making together?
That's so sweet. Thank you to Night of the Round for the theme music. As always, you can go support them at nightoftheround.bandcamp.com. By the time you're listening to this, Bandcamp Friday is coming up, so keep an ear out for that. And they get all residuals for everything you get from them on Bandcamp. And it's a good time to do that. It's always a good time to buy from them.
Yeah.
Thank you to Nobuo Uematsu, Junya Nakano, and Kenichiro Fukui. Kenny F.
Kenny F.
Kenny F.
I almost call him Kenny G every time.
Leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us get discovered. I have no idea how people find us.
Yeah,
but
after
people
you're
have
done,
been-
donating to a mutual aid fund, also doesn't have to be Philly. It could be your neighborhood. Anywhere is good. Tell all of your friends to rate us 5 stars because that shit really helps.
It does.
Yeah.
Whatever star rating you're feeling.
No, only 5.
I want to mix it up. I'm getting tired of all these 5 stars.
Yeah.
Where's our enemy far right fucking Final Fantasy podcast?
Yeah,
We'll
they're
find
like,
you and
the
kill you.
message of 7 is actually that eco-fascism is good.
Yeah.
Goodness.
They're like, dude, Heidegger, best character in the game. Love that dude. Shame that he didn't get to do what he wanted.
Weapon didn't go far enough to make the world a better place by wiping out humans.
Leave us a message at 530 Materia. Yeah, give us some memories, either in relation to the podcast or the games, preferably 4, or even just like suggestions. I don't know, anything. We love hearing that people are listening.
Yeah.
Even
it
if they're mostly
really
our friends
boosts
that we
our
already
mood.
know are listening.
Shout outs to all my friends listening.
I don't have any friends.
That's not true. Curtis has so many goddamn friends.
I have 2 friends, and their names are Carl and Alex.
Hell yeah. Take that, everyone else.
Find us at every FNFF on Twitter, Instagram, sometimes Twitch, but we also have a Discord. So go to Twitter, Instagram, and find a link to that in the bio. And I think I'm going to go avenge the first half of this podcast and go kill Golbez. So you guys are on your own.
Bye.